Hey, it's Bethany from Ludlam Family Farm, and today I'm going to be showing you how to set up a brooder. Now there's a lot of different ways that you can do this, and I'm just going to share the way that I like to do it. Now, the first thing you're going to want to consider is your setup. We use this big tub that we got from Tractor Supply. It has nice tall walls because something to consider is your chicks are going to grow, and as they grow, they're going to be able to fly out, and you want to keep them in that space. It's also going to depend on the time of year where you set up. It's warmer, it's late April, so I actually have mine outside in a coop that I use for transitioning birds. We free range our birds once they get to be full size, but they need to stay in here until they get to be a certain size to join their flock. So I have a tub set up where my medium-sized birds cannot get to them, and I put a screen over the top because my other birds will be able to fly in. The next thing that you need to consider is your heat. Now, it is really important that the baby chicks stay at 100 to 95 degrees for the first 2 weeks, and then after that they can drop about 5 degrees. Now, I find that my baby chicks learn to just kind of get in and out of the heat on their own, and when they reach about 4 weeks, I will take them out of the brooder and transition them this time of the year because it is warmer. Now, if it's really cold outside, they'll stay in the house for a while. This is a very easy setup. It's less smelly. I just come outside and tend to them. But that's really going to depend on your weather, where you are, what kind of setup you have. For the heat, you can use a heat plate, and that allows the baby chicks to get in and out as they wish. They say it's similar to like how it would be if you had a broody hen and they were going underneath their mother. But we've had great success with the lambs. We rope around the cord and we hang it down. The way that I gauge the heat is I kind of place my hand under, and I want to feel where the heat is hitting in the brooder, because you want the baby chicks to be able to go under the heat, but you also want them to be able to escape that heat. Now, another thing to consider is, how are you going to clean your brooder? What is the easiest way? A lot of people like to use cardboard with puppy pads. I find the easiest is pine shavings that you can get at Tractor Supply. They're very easy to scoop. I use a kitty litter scoop, and I scoop them into grocery bags, and I actually just throw them around my property and use them as fertilizer. Yeah, you can just toss them. It's very easy. I find that when they are in the early weeks that I have to clean it less. I just scoop it once a day, but as they're getting bigger, they're peeing and they're pooping more, and so you might need to scoop twice a day depending. Also, if you have other birds in there with your chicks, like ducks, I found myself scooping our brooder with ducks 3 times a day, and it was such a mess that I don't actually even really want ducks anymore. So I really just enjoy the baby chicks, and I find that they're a lot easier to clean up after. I also like to put some wood. I had these in my barn, and I just sit them in here and let them perch up on them. Baby chicks like to perch. The type of feeder that you use, there's a few different kinds of feeders. I really like this one. I find that it's easy for them to get the food out, and if they get wood chips in them, I can just pick them out really easy. For water, it's really important that your surface is level or flat, or else the water will leak out. I've had that happen a few times where I'll fill it and then I'll go to check and all the shavings are soaked because my ground wasn't level. So I actually have a rock under my water keeping it from doing that. I check the water twice a day, and I check on the birds at least twice a day. Realistically, caring for baby birds is probably going to be 15 to 30 minutes of your day depending. And then on deep clean days, obviously a little bit longer. You want to make sure that they start out on a starter feed, and you want to make sure that you're adding electrolytes to their water because they're under that heat all day. There's a lot of different brooder setups that you can do. We have built some out of wood when we had multiple going on. The biggest thing that I would stay away from is plastic. I would not use plastic with the heat because it could melt. And I would also make sure that whatever you are using, it is easy to clean. Baby chicks are a lot of fun, and I would say overall pretty easy to care for. It's just really making sure that they have the right amount of heat, food, and water, and that you're keeping them in a clean, dry space. So that's why you're going to want to scoop it daily so that your baby chicks are not wet. I recommend joining a Facebook group for caring for chickens, and if you are noticing that you are losing some, you might want to send some pictures in of your setup and kind of troubleshoot and say, why am I losing birds? It might be something as simple as you need to adjust your heat. I have found that those groups are really great for questions, and when you're first starting out with birds, you are going to have a lot of those. So if you have any questions, just drop them down in the comments and I'm happy to answer them. And I hope you enjoy your new baby chicks.